The whiteboard. One of the most common and commonly misunderstood facilitation tools, and if I'm being very honest with you, my personal least favorite. It has some pros, it has some cons, it has some very powerful use cases. Let's walk through them. The first obvious benefit of a whiteboard is its familiarity. Everyone has used one in school, in the office, maybe in the home office. It is very affordable to get one, an online store. For the perfectionists among you, little tip, you will eventually get bubbles under the foil when you're putting it on your wall or your door, as I have. Take a little pin, put a little hole in the bubble and squeegee and push the air out of the bubble. You can also use a hairdryer to loosen the adhesive and kind of iron down the surface, especially for those very little bubbles or the corners that just refuse to stick. Second pro of a whiteboard is it has a very low entry barrier. Unlike tools where you need licenses, where you need training, where you need special markers, you just hand someone a whiteboard marker and they immediately know what to do with it. A whiteboard is very forgiving of mistakes, as you can just erase and start fresh. A whiteboard is very minimalistic. It is so plain, there is really not much fun or fancy you can do with one, that you can only concentrate on the content. You can consider this a good thing, a bad thing, it's up to you. A whiteboard is usually much more spacious than your average flip chart. And because it's oriented like a landscape, not like a portrait, you can go to the sides, expanding your drawing, your mind map much more freely than you would with a flip chart. Quick writing for quick thinking. Consider a whiteboard as sort of a pencil sketch. You don't really overthink it, you just get straight to writing. Which brings me to the negative sides of a whiteboard. A whiteboard is a very temporary medium. It's a very short-lived kind of tool that requires extra steps for documentation. You gotta take a picture, you gotta digitalize it, you gotta send it around and just hope that people actually take a look at it. A little pro tip here is take pictures of your whiteboard a little bit from above to try to avoid that glare. Ask ChatGPT to clean up the image and format it nicely for you. You will be surprised how nice a whiteboard that's been cleaned up actually can look like. Let's take a look at the picture of the whiteboard that I took next to the picture of a whiteboard that a certain AI assistant cleaned up for me. Little perceived importance. A whiteboard is something very short-lived. Very important information rarely comes communicated through a whiteboard. It's obvious when you think about the last time you saw a big manager presenting something extremely important using a whiteboard? Probably never. Few visual storytelling leverages. The markers that we use for whiteboards are usually very thin, while we have a lot of space to cover. This is why a lot of whiteboards get messy and hard to read very quickly, especially if people are not conscious about using colors, spacing, and frames. It's very hard to create visual hierarchy, but it's very easy to create visual noise. Another thing that I see a lot is people holding their marker as if they would be holding a pen and writing on a piece of paper. So they write in cursive, they tilt their letters a lot, and they connect them. I don't know about you, but my cursive writing is not very clear to understand, especially not on a big whiteboard. And I am yet to find a whiteboard marker that would be thick enough to be readable from way back in the room. If you know one, please leave me a comment. This all brings us to the use cases for the whiteboard. Use case number 1, co-creation. When a visual story is co-created in the moment, a whiteboard is a great dynamic and expandable tool for that. Someone suggests something, you put it down. Somebody suggests something else, you expand it. Somebody corrects the first or the third thing that was said, you just replace it and continue expanding your story. And suddenly, the group has created something that just didn't exist 5 minutes ago. Use case number 2, sketching complex systems. Whiteboards are great for big picture thinking. Mind maps, decision trees, process diagrams, especially if you're not quite sure how the elements of a system connect. I personally love putting down elements on a whiteboard and then using my whiteboard marker to frame them, to connect them, to find clusters and patterns. Use case number 3, in-the-moment documentation. Consider a whiteboard a sort of a cache or a short-term memory. If you're having a meeting and you just want to jot down what has been agreed on, what somebody said, what somebody wants to cover in that meeting, a whiteboard is a great tool to visualize something that is important, temporary. Think of plans, meeting notes, sketches, lists, agenda points, and any other sort of moving parts that are just relevant for a very short time. Despite not being a very powerful and heavyweight tool, a whiteboard, if used properly and planned accordingly, can be a very powerful tool to facilitate understanding and alignment between the participants. Click on this next video to learn some advanced tricks and tips how to up your whiteboard game.